And this is a quick walk around video. This is for a Honda CR-V. It's a 2-litre EX automatic. This particular car's covered 77,000 miles and comes with a very comprehensive service history. Finished in white, which looks fantastic on these CR-Vs, the top of the range ones, because you get the black roof, black trims, just sits on the car very nicely indeed. Car's in lovely condition. Front of the car, lights and lenses are clear and intact without any cracks or condensation. Bumper, apart from a couple of kamikaze flies, is very clean. Likewise, bonnet hardly shows a stone chip of any note on there at all. Coming down the near side first, lovely and smooth in the panel work. Can't see any obvious indentations there at all. Near side front alloy, generally good. Just a couple of spokes, just got a couple of minor marks on them. You could easily do them, but in keeping with the near side front alloy, because that's the one that generally takes all of the bashing actually. Near side rear alloy, can't see any marks in there at all. Come around the back, very clean and tidy. Around to the off side of the car, driver's side, again, lovely and smooth in the panel work, no indentations there again. Offside rear alloy, absolutely lovely, and then remaining panel work, as I said, really clean. Offside front alloy there, again, absolutely super condition. So externally the car is in really good condition. The wheel, as I always say, there'll always be the odd minor mark on a car that's now 9 years old, which I can't see or missed, but I try and pick up on what I possibly can. Coming to the boot area, absolutely enormous boots on the car, and beautifully finished inside. A rarity, because the CR-Vs are normally really heavily used in the back, but this one's absolutely beautiful condition back here. It's coming to the back of the car now. Wide opening rear doors, enormous amounts of rear leg room, and again leatherwork in the back's in really good condition. Coming to the front, again, all very clean and tidy, leatherwork all very good. Finally come to the front of the driver's side, door card very clean and tidy, footwell areas likewise really clean, and driver's seat, again for a 9-year-old car, in very nice condition. Inside the car now, as always, the engine's running, so the dash can be seen illuminated, and dashboard again in very nice condition. Sat nav, as you see, working absolutely as it should. Pop the car into reverse, got that lovely clear gridded parking camera, again all working perfectly well. Just to come up on the dash binnacle, hopefully you can see 77,065 miles, and there are no warning lights on the car at all. Finally, just to show you, owner's manual pack and lock and wheel nut key are both here and present with the car. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V. It's a 2-litre EX automatic. This particular car is registered RX63YXO, and with a mileage of 77,055 recorded. The reason for all of our videos, and actually especially this road test section, is to ensure that if anyone is online looking at any of our cars, they actually get to see the cars advertised in operation. And the reason we feel it's important is simply because we've been on so many fool's errands to go and see cars which have looked perfectly good, only to get there and find out there's a fundamental problem with the car, which we'd much rather know about before setting off, so hence that's why we do it. Also done on these very quiet country roads very close to our premises, which actually forms part of the road test route we take our customers on. Reason for that is obvious. It's hopefully then it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself should you be offered a test drive in the car. So coming to the car, it's been very well looked after, as you'll know from the service history of the vehicle. I think all the servicing pretty much has been done by Honda. We've just done one ourselves, not quite due, but we'd like to make sure it's all good before it goes. But doing the usual stuff, push button start on top of the range car. Car starts instantly and settles to a smooth, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the car. And temperature gauge is running as a third now, and it's been running for the best part of 2 hours. It's just been delivered to us, so it's clearly up to full operating temperature, so all absolutely fine. The engines are superb, smooth, quiet, willing, keen to rev, just very sophisticated mechanically. It's just a wonderful unit, and Honda are world renowned for their 4-cylinder engines. Absolutely superb. It's got a lovely power delivery. It's got good initial thrust. As I said, it just, every rev is able to be used. It doesn't get harsh or strained. It's just a glorious, glorious engine. Timing chain driven, of course, so there's no cam belts to worry about on these things, and a reputation for reliability and longevity absolutely unmatched in its class. Engine then goes through into the automatic gearbox, and much like the engine has a brilliant reputation for reliability. That's just the parking sensor picking up the hedge, by the way. They're just as bomb-proof in every way as the engines. Gear ratios have obviously cleverly chosen to give you the best in terms of performance and economy out of the car. It does a really good job. You can also use these little paddles on the steering wheel here. The left-hand one goes down the gearbox, right-hand one goes up. You don't have to select anything, just do it at any time you want. Hardly ever used, in all honesty, but they do come in quite handy if, for sake of argument, you want to do an overtake on a sort of a slow-moving tractor or something like that. Because automatic gearboxes don't have eyes. Obviously, they're not telepathic. They don't know what you're going to want it to do, and their inclination is to want to be as economical as possible. So, if halfway around an overtaking manoeuvre you start to lift your throttle for any reason, it'll change up very quickly. There's times when you don't want it to do that, quite obviously. So, basically, at any time, just pull a tab back. It's selected me third gear. So, if there was a car in front now, drop down a gear, up again, up again, up again. It's as simple as that. Then after a few seconds, as it's done already, it turns itself off. So, but all working perfectly. All the gear changes are slick, smooth, as they should be on any Honda car. So perfect in that sense. Steering of the car, Honda always do a good job on these CR-Vs. It's really nicely done, nicely weighted to give you a feeling of security and solidity on the road. They do a very, very fine job of that. But it's also nice and sharp to the corners. You don't have to sort of wind on a lot of locks. So corners like this one, minimal movement to turn it in, and the chassis responds brilliantly because the chassis gives you a very, very well judged ride, very compliant, very absorbent. But what it doesn't do, like so many of its competitors, is kind of lurch through corners because they have a very soft initial ride, which can feel very pleasant indeed. But as soon as you throw a few corners into the mix, they literally just fall apart. This is just a class act, which is why the CR-V is the best-selling SUV in the world. So they obviously know their stuff. Also, listening out for on road tests on any kind of mechanical noise, any clunks, rattles, or otherwise, and all feels very, very solid indeed. I'm just going to give the brakes a good shove. If I just give it a nice hard shove. But yeah, they're really powerful brakes on the car. No pulsing, no vibrations coming back through the brake pedal, so all in fine order. Worth pointing out, I should have said, the car will be going off for an independent MOT, so these things are going to be checked as a matter of course anyway. So finally, coming inside the car, it's literally just arrived. It's not been cleaned. It's going to be cleaned. It's very clean, but you know what I mean. Beautifully put together cars. Really, really solid build quality in them, and just a very, very pleasant place to sit with brilliant visibility. You feel really in control of the car. A dashboard which is laden with equipment, but one that is actually very simple to come to terms with after a few days driving. Everything working, sat nav as you can see, climate control pumps out lovely cold air, also gives you the because it's dual zone, gives you the opportunity to give different temperatures side to side, or albeit slightly different temperatures. Heated seats again, checked, working as it should. The dash binnacle in front is typical Honda, very legible, easily read, nicely presented, but not overdone. Again, too many dashes and binnacles in particular, very fussy. But this, you just look, you get the information, that's all you do. It's perfect. Small diameter steering wheel feels absolutely great in hand. Very little wear in it at all, virtually nothing. This is a four-wheel drive version of the CR-V, albeit there are no buttons to press, as I say in all these videos, because it does it for you. Honda, again, with their experience, worked out that the vast majority of their customers would be doing what I'm doing today, and that's just driving in perfectly good conditions where you don't need four-wheel drive on. So basically, should it need to go into four-wheel drive, it'll do it itself. Runs in front-wheel drive. If they lose grip, with snow, ice or mud or something, it instantly brings in the rear wheels to give you four-wheel drive, and it is seamless in the way it operates. Absolutely brilliant. And given the fact that both my wife and I drive one, we know it's good, and we know how effective it can be as well. Also, its lack of use gives it its reliability, by the way. In nearly 30 years selling Hondas of this type, we've never so much as put a spanner on the four-wheel drive system on any of them. So it is very robust indeed. As I said at the start of the video, it's only brief. Point of it is literally just to show you the car operating, and it drives absolutely perfectly. Any questions, as always, don't hesitate to give us a call.